distracted? What distractions? They're kind of like a 1980s hair band. You know what I mean? They have a really good time. They lean into it. They don't always seem like they're focused, but they never disappoint. They put on a great show. And I think Kansas City's great for the league. It's nothing against the Patriots dynasty or Alabama's dynasty or the Tim Duncan dynasty. It was like Shakespeare. You knew it was historically great, but it was like, could you guys lighten up a little? Art thou lighten up a little? Little dry. Kansas City, the Chiefs, the Warriors with Steph, Pete Carroll with USC, the Cowboys in the 90s, they're rock stars. And I think it's good for the league. By the way, the week 1 ratings, last 2 years, ratings going up and up and up and up and up. And Kansas City keeps leaning into it. And I just think they're really, really good for the league. Really, really exceptional for the league. So I want to say this about Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills last night. So I've been very critical of defensive coaches like Belichick who just keep digging into defense. I mean, he made a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator. I've been very critical of Mike Tomlin. Again, a more than capable leader and motivator of men, but he's digging in. He's
going to miss the revenge matchup against his former team, likely due to the calf injury. Now, Russ has been at practice. He's getting light work. All signs point to Fields starting. Steelers obviously didn't miss Russ in the Week 1 game against the Falcons, but Russ says he's close to returning to action.
I feel like I'm getting closer and closer. I'm just trying to be smart and, got to do a lot of work today, on the field and everything else, throwing and all that. So just trying to be smart. Anybody who knows me, I always want to go and play, and that's how I get my mind ready, my body ready for that, and to, play. At the end of the day, I believe you got to play dinged up sometimes. And I think coach, he's also, and the trainers just want to be smart too as well. It's just because, we know it's early in the season.
Yeah. This is becoming the mess we predicted it would be. It's really becoming what we thought. Listen, they're 1-0. That's the good news. And so it's, the Jets are potentially a much better team, are 0-1. The Steelers are 1-0. It matters.
Yeah.
Got to get that in there.
So, yeah, I noticed. The third game, should Russ say, hey, Mike, I'm ready to go, they play the Chargers at home next week. If they're 2-0, I just don't see how you bench Justin Fields, even if he's been pedestrian. Maybe he has 3 interceptions and they win 21-20 on some fluky stuff, and they're like, Justin Fields wasn't good. But it's not like the Broncos defense was any good against Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker last week, were they? I mean, I don't know.
This is just, again, are you shocked the Pittsburgh Steelers can't get their offense right?
No.
Anybody surprised? Raise your hand. By the way, remember when Brady retired, it was Cam, it was Mac Jones, and a year later they couldn't get their offense right? Anybody surprised? I mean, it's just like Seattle, Geno Smith, Drew Lock. We were like, okay, that's fine, but Pete, you're getting into your 70s. You gotta start winning some big games here in the postseason. These defensive coaches, they get, hey, I'll get the offense right, the run game. We can be okay at quarterback. Those days are over. There's too many good quarterbacks, and most of those good quarterbacks have offensive coaches. You can't just ham and egg quarterback. You can't do Russell Wilson and Justin and just with an offensive line that's got major questions. You don't know, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and these calf injuries, you can't mess around. 49ers with McCaffrey, you just don't mess around. Final story is the 49ers coming off that Week 1 win over the Jets. They're going on the road to face Minnesota. Interesting line movement in this game. A lot of people like the Vikings. Talking to reporters in the locker room earlier this week, Nick Bosa talked about San Francisco's prep. Listen closely, Colin.
This week, I think we're playing a better, honestly, a better team that's they're playing better football, it looks like, and they run the ball well, and we're going to have to be better in our techniques. We kind of got away with some things last week. So yeah, we have to hone in and not pat ourselves on the back.
Nick Bosa basically saying, we got away with stuff last week. You can't get away with it with Minnesota's offense because Minnesota's got more good players on offense and a quarterback that can move.
Well,
Jets don't.
I might challenge that. I mean, Jordan Addison out
Justin
Hawkinson
Jefferson.
out. Justin Jefferson's better than Garrett Wilson.
Left tackle's the best in football after Trent Williams. Running game, powerful running game with a veteran.
You think the Vikings are better than the Jets?
I think the Vikings offense is better than the Jets offense because one of them is coached by Nat Hackett and one by Kevin O'Connell. So, I mean, I don't think there's any question Minnesota.
Sam Darnold scares you more than
Nick
Aaron Rodgers?
Nick Bosa is telling you.
He's taking a shot at the Jets.
No. He talked slowly. He was not trying to take a shot. He almost talked. He kind of backtracked what he said because he knew it sounded bad for the Jets. But he was like, yeah, we got away with some stuff with the Jets. We will not be able to get away with it with Minnesota. What is that telling you? The coaching's better, the details are better, and Sam Darnold week 1 was better than Aaron Rodgers.
He was playing the Giants. Like a college defense. Those guys stink.
All right.
Wow. Look at so Bosa. Okay. All right. I guess I'll just say we'll see you in the Super Bowl, pal.
Sure.
I'm just
okay. Kidding. You bet. J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
You know, it's I saw yesterday. I really do try to stay off the phone. I saw Elon Musk and Travis Kelce going at it. Travis Kelce taking a shot at Elon Musk on X. Tom Brady had his top 5 yesterday. He had Kansas City number 1. I honestly think the Chiefs are the best thing to happen to the NFL since, like, again, lead the NFL in paying their defense over their offense year after year after year, is that Sean McDermott was getting a lot of heat last year. Remember the Tyler Dunn article and some of his quotes in the locker room. But I don't see Sean McDermott as an old, rigid, stubborn coach. And the reason I don't see it is because I'm watching him evolve. He's not digging in. He's not old school. I think Sean McDermott has listened to his critics. I mean, they drafted a tight end last year, first pick. This year, their first pick overall, I think it was second round, was a wide receiver. James Cook was a second-round pick. So the first 4 or 5 years there, after the Josh Allen pick, they were going defensive guys heavy in the draft at the top of the draft, their first picks. Now they've evolved. They're going heavy offensive guys. He's also moved off multiple offensive coordinators. He understands the value of the right OC. He's also let some really good defensive players go. I look at Sean McDermott as a guy who's evolving. He's not being old school. He's not digging his feet in. He's trying to get Josh Allen help. First, a lot of teams don't draft tight ends in the first round. He's going tight ends. He got a running back in the second round. A lot of teams first, second round, they don't want to get running backs. They want to get that stuff later. So they're using their draft capital on offensive guys very early. They're moving off first-round guys as defensive guys. He's moving off defensive players. He keeps finding. Joe Brady appears to be a great fit with Josh Allen. So, like, Mike Tomlin has not had a playoff win in 6 years. Belichick didn't have in his last 5 years in New England, and it just felt like they kept doubling down on defense. And it feels very old school to me. And I don't think Sean McDermott's old school. I think he's evolving. That's what I'm watching. Here's Sean McDermott after the win last night.
We've got a lot of new players and whatnot, and you're never really sure. There's so many unknowns starting a season, and we come back the first week of the season and win, and I think that was a step for us, for any team to be able to say that you can do that, you can play in close games, and then this game being able to come down here in a short week, to your point, at their place and play like we did. We played our style of football.
Yeah, I mean, no penalties, not having turnovers, running the football, offensive line dominance. It wasn't that totally Josh Allen reliant, and the reason being is because of the rookie receiver, the other tight end, the running back. They've done a good job. Listen. They've won 4 straight AFC East titles. I didn't have them in my top 10 week 1 because I wanted to watch them. Let's just watch. And then I watched them play Arizona. I'm like, it's just too Josh Allen. I was totally impressed last night. Like that's a Super Bowl team. And I do feel with Josh Allen, he's too talented not to win one. But that's as good a win, not just because of the outcome and not just because of the separation with Miami. That's about as good a win and as hopeful a win, if you think the Bills should win the Super Bowl, that's as good as it gets. Big running game, no penalties, no mistakes, didn't have that many total yards, not a lot of Superman plays. It was just help Josh. It's like we said this about Luka Doncic. Like, you start looking at this schedule now, and they got a tough one against Baltimore. I mean, they're going to need some balance here when they face Lamar, C.J. Stroud, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. This schedule looks